This fire makes one feel like the end days are upon us. A huge fireball erupted from a 3-story warehouse into the sky, reddening the entire sky invisible from a distance. It feels apocalyptic. The temperature at the scene was at least 30 to 40 degrees Celsius or 86 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, making it hard to get close. The temperature here is supposed to be 30 to 40 degrees Celsius, and I'm standing here. I'm standing right here. Do you see? This fire occurred at a warehouse in the bonded port area of Qingdao City, Shandong Province at about 1947 on December 30th, 2023. On the same day, the Qingdao Meteorological Station issued an amber alert for strong winds. You can see that the fire was fueled by the gusty winds, growing ferocious. The fire burned in one direction, and the sky was ablaze with flames, making the nearby sky reddish. From time to time, explosions were heard. After the incident, there were fire trucks rushing to the scene, but the fire was so fierce that the firefighters were unable to get close. The blaze showed no signs of abating until 11 p.m. at night. What happened? Did someone's vehicle crash? No, it's not a crash, it's a fire in a factory. Wow, that's powerful. A chemical plant. Look, it's a chemical plant. There are explosions too. Someone's vehicle is slowing down. Are they filming?
The fire is too big. Oh my gosh, it's too big. Oh my gosh, the flames have erupted to the sky. It's scary.
The fire raged, but according to netizens, only 5 firefighters were on the scene. This comprehensive bonded zone was approved by China's State Council on November 19, 2018, to be transformed and upgraded from the West Coast Export Processing Zone. In other words, all of the area is a new zone at a state level. According to public information, the main functions of this new area in Qingdao include focusing on the development of modern marine, international trade, shipping and logistics, modern finance, advanced manufacturing, and other industries. It aims to create an international shipping hub, an important innovation center on the eastern coast, and a demonstration zone for the development of the marine economy. The area is a pilot zone for Qingdao to deepen reform and expand opening up, as well as a pilot zone for the new platform of Belt and Road International Cooperation, a pioneer zone for high-quality development, and a demonstration zone for a modernized international metropolis. The fire department of Shandong Province announced at 22:29 that evening that there were no casualties, and the fire department is currently doing its best to put out the fire. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation. How could there be no casualties in such a big fire? Is the fire department lying, or are there other hidden stories? Some local netizens commented, "I wondered how the bonded area has big fires every year. There must be hazardous chemicals." I frequently passed by the place before, and it was too creepy. Rubber and cotton seemed to be inside. Just saw the post by a Qingdao colleague. 2 years ago, a fire broke out in this bonded area as well, and it's the same this time. Some serious netizens kicked into detective mode. After the fire was extinguished, they dug out some insider information. The warehouse on fire belongs to Shandong Baotai Science and Technology Company Limited. The most important point is that it's a state-owned enterprise. This company is involved in a wide range of businesses, including research and development of technology products, network technology consulting, plant and building rental, technology import and export trade, logistics distribution, international freight broker, etc. Another netizen dug out from the official record of the city's fire department that in February 2023, this state-owned company failed a fire inspection conducted by the fire department. State-owned enterprises failed fire inspections, fires at the end of the year, only materials burned without injuring people. When these elements all add up, it has prompted speculation and skepticism from the netizens. Savvy people commented, "It's almost the end of the year, time for inventory check? Or is it to burn unsold goods to get insurance compensation? Who is the unfortunate insurance company getting a large claim at the end of the year?" Although it's good news that no one was killed or injured in such a big fire, it feels suspicious, like the staff being sent away deliberately in advance. No need to question. It must be a case of the accounting department trying to balance the books and save the bureaucratic careers of the many people in the company and related government departments. Netizens don't make such a definite claim without any factual basis. It's not the first time a fire of this magnitude has occurred at this site. On November 6, 2023, another warehouse in the same free trade bonded area also burst into flames. The blazing fire burned fiercely, and the entire warehouse was engulfed. The main types of goods in the warehouse included cotton, plastics, and rubber. Again, the fire spread rapidly with the wind. The smoke clouded the sky up to several hundred meters high. The scene was just as horrifying. Going back in time, on July 14, 2021, at this bonded port area, a fire broke out in a warehouse in a logistics park. At the time, smoke rolled out of the warehouse on fire, and a number of fire trucks stood by outside the park. The official Weibo news release said the warehouse on fire was a single-story steel structure, and the fire was mainly due to rubber and polyethylene particles. The fire produced a lot of smoke, but there were no hazardous chemicals and explosives in the warehouse, and no casualties. In summary, a pattern is observed in these similar fires. They include warehouses storing a large number of flammable items, gusty winds that help the fire get worse, and most oddly, no casualties. The Chinese media reported very little about the fire in Qingdao at the end of 2023. When they did, it was very brief. This suggests that the Qingdao bonded port area is very powerful in its operation, very fast in controlling information. This is the scene after the fire was put out. Behind these ruins, all traces of corruption and shady practices are wiped clean. Still in the same province, Shandong, on the morning of December 23, 2023, an explosion occurred at a chemical plant in the city of Zibo. According to Chinese official media, the incident occurred in the cracking workshop of the olefin plant of Qilu Petrochemical Company. The fire was brought under control tentatively, and no casualties have been reported yet. The video shows a huge fireball rising from the explosion, with the flames raging and smoke billowing. The explosion took place inside the chemical plant and resulted in the rapid spread of fire and the collapse of the plant. Subsequent fires continued to burn, and a secondary explosion was suspected to have happened. Nearby villagers said the factory was less than a kilometer from the nearest residential home. Glass was shattered in a number of households in the village. A worker working in the company near the incident said that the explosion was loud, debris flying all over the sky, and the company's glass door also shattered. For fear of a secondary explosion, the company evacuated the staff. A staff member of the plant revealed that the explosion started a fire, which was followed by a secondary explosion. As for casualties and the cause of the explosion, he said, "It is not convenient to disclose." Pictures circulated online after the incident showed that many people inside the plant were taken to the hospital. The photos were captioned, "Explosion victims sent to the hospital, looking quite scary." There were also photos with the words, "The first batch of injured had been sent to the hospital," which may indicate that there were many injured or dead, and there could be other batches of victims to follow. In the photo, what's on the body of the ambulance reads, Peking University Medical Luzhong Hospital. According to public information, this hospital was formerly known as the Central Hospital of Qilu Petrochemical Company, which is affiliated with the chemical plant where the explosion occurred. Zibhua City's propaganda department claimed that at 9:25 on December 23rd, Qilu Petrochemical Company olefin plant cracking workshop was on fire, and no casualties were found for the time being. Its aim is suspected to maintain stability. We searched mainland social media and could no longer find information about the injured taken to hospital. However, a video showed that the suspected fire wasn't extinguished until that evening. A netizen commented, "No one was injured or killed in such a big explosion. It can only be nonsense." When Phoenix.com reported on the incident, the headline read, "Flash explosion occurred 3 years ago," implying that a similar explosion occurred 3 years ago. The story was quickly removed from the website. We checked and found that on June 9th, 2020, there was an explosion at the Qilu Petrochemical Company's olefin plant. At the time, officials claimed that the explosion killed 2 people and injured 4. It can be seen that the Zibhua city government, like the Qingdao bonded port area, is powerful in its operation behind the scenes, and such news is controlled very quickly. And here's another fire that happened in December 2023. The fire burned until December 16th and was still not extinguished. The fire burned through 5 floors. Chinese media reported at the time that many merchants said their years of hard work had been burned to the ground. The owner of a toy wholesale store surnamed Li said he had returned home from work when the fire broke out, but his 200 square foot warehouse was engulfed in flames. The goods in the warehouse, valued at more than US $500,000, had been her labor of love over the years. She couldn't get over it and cried from the night of the 15th until the 16th. She said, "I worked hard for decades to build this business, and it's all gone in one fire." She didn't know how else to continue her business, feeling survival incredibly hard. Another owner who runs a general store said that his business was already poor this year, and the fire made things even worse, as his years of savings were burned to the ground, making the heart bleed. However, when we finished organizing the materials for editing, we found that some of these details depicting the tragedy of the merchants vanished from the report. Some of the report have been removed. The biggest mystery to Chinese readers who noticed this story was, doesn't the fire department conduct frequent fire inspections of such shopping malls? How can there still be such a big fire? In fact, the reasons behind all kinds of fires and explosions in China cannot be explained by common sense. Let's take a look at a not-so-big fire in this neighborhood. The residents were terrified. This is a residential neighborhood in a central Chinese city. A fire broke out and the residents called the fire department. Upon arrival, the firefighters were shocked to find that all the fire hydrants had no water. At the critical moment when the fire was spreading rapidly, it became very urgent to put out the fire, and the slightest delay could lead to a life-threatening situation. In the end, the fire engine was able to extinguish the fire by delivering water. Due to this particular experience, the incident has attracted attention on the Chinese web. Ironically, this is nothing for the Chinese. Over the past year, they've experienced more than their fair share of natural and man-made disasters, including all sorts of bizarre fires and explosions. For the rest of the episode, we're going to play back some of the major fires and explosions that took place in the second half of 2023. After watching these, you may feel the same way as I do. In a turbulent China, one is lucky to be alive, safe, and healthy.
你看，这从哪儿撞出来的？
On August 13th, 2023, an explosion erupted in Shandong province. A bank and a barbecue fish restaurant were blown up and seriously damaged. The glass and facade of the 2-story building are gone, and the ground was covered in debris. The road in front of the explosion was impacted, vehicles were damaged. The blast struck pedestrians and vehicles on the road, but so far no specifics are available and the number of possible casualties is unknown. A witness said, It's forceful. A white car far away from the site was knocked sideways. Another said, the explosion blasted 2 people out to the road. So scary. The other said, the impact was so great, what an unexpected disaster dropping from the sky. It was 10:30 a.m. on July 1st, 2023, when a chemical plant in China had a silicon oil fire that triggered an explosion. The scene was like a disaster scene in a blockbuster movie. Mushroom clouds rose into the air. Local residents told overseas media that black smoke was billowing and the air was toxic. So far, the casualties are unknown and the cause of the fire is under investigation. On July 3rd, mushroom clouds rose again in China.
Wow, the whole factory is burning. It's reaching the road. It's serious.
Doesn't it make you think of an apocalyptic site? On July 3rd, a shocking fire accident occurred in Guangdong province. A factory building was engulfed in flames. However, Chinese media reported no casualties.